Hello. Now, if you're a boy and you grew up in the early 2000s, or you could be a girl, there's a good chance that you're probably into one of two things. The first thing being giant robots. Around this time, they were everywhere. I'm talking Power Rangers, Voltron, Megas XLR, and the biggest one out of all of them, in my opinion, Transformers.
I've come.
The second thing is a little bit more out there, and that's anime. Now, don't get me wrong, around this time, anime was booming in popularity. I'm talking Naruto, Bleach, Gundam Wing. I'm only calling it a little bit out there because, well, a lot of us were there for the girls. Now, I'm not gonna judge you for liking this, alright? Because I was actually one of the weird people that was into both. Now, fast forward like 20 years later, and the Chad of a company known as Kotobukiya decided, hey, I got an idea. Let's combine those two. And fuck, did they do that? Yeah! Achoo! Achoo! Now, from the outside looking in, I can totally understand how this might seem a little weird and a little out there. Random, if you say. Well, let me explain. Kotobukiya is a figure brand that's known for making a wide variety of figures. They're even known to make some statues of Western IPs. I'm talking DC, Marvel, some movies. Now, they also have this Bishoujo statue line where they take said Western IPs, grab the women from them, and animify them. And when I say Western IPs, I'm not talking just superheroes and comics. I'm talking movies. I'm talking Star Wars, Ghostbusters, fucking Freddy Krueger. Now, thinking back to when these figures first got announced, it was really funny. I believe I found out on Twitter, and I feel like this was the first time I've ever seen Twitter explode over a set of anime figures, which is fair. They gave Optimus Prime tits. How can no one not explode from that? It just felt like this sense of disbelief. The Mad Lads did it! They did the impossible! As the excitement wore down, I pre-ordered the figures as fast as I could. How could I not pre-order these? It's fucking Megatron with hips. And that same sense of disbelief carried on to when I actually received the figures, which is a smart transition to the next part. How are the figures themselves? Getting these figures in hand for the first time was a surreal experience. And it helps the fact that they're actually pretty great figures. They don't feel cheap. They feel very nicely constructed. I think the shading is done really well on things like the clothing, the skin, the hair. I think all that's done really well. And I also really love the use of different finishes and materials. For example, the shiny coat on Optimus' jacket or the shiny coat on Megatron's gun. I think the use of all these different types of plastics and finishes, the use of shiny plastic kind of helps illustrate the fact that these guys were once robots. Big giant robots. Now they're soft women. Optimus Prime is kind of... You don't see Megatron at all here. Now, I can talk about how nice these figures are physically, but I don't think that's the elephant in the room. In fact, I think that's the smallest part on this whole review. I think the biggest aspect about these figures is how they actually did it. Now, these figures were actually designed by Shunya Yamashita, and I think he's the one responsible for all the Bishoujo statues and transitioning fucking Jason into a girl. And I think he did a good job. I think a lot of the design elements used on these figures feel really intentional and feel like they have to be there. For example, I think that one of the smartest things he did was using hair and different styles of hair to mimic the head shapes of the original design. They gave Optimus Prime buns, and they gave Megatron a bob cut, perfectly illustrating how these characters used to look like with their head shapes. I think one of my favorite aspects about these figures is the ones you don't catch right away. For example, the Matrix of Leadership as a necklace, which looks great at first, but when you really think about it, the fact that her jacket opens like that and the Matrix of Leadership is being revealed mimics the whole opening chest thing that Optimus Prime does. Or even Megatron's coat. He doesn't have a coat, but the underside of the coat's red. Kind of like Megatron. Even their belts pay homage. Look at the designs. Okay, look closer. Now look at the originals. Beautiful. Mwah! Beautiful. I think this is their most impressive feat. He's literally one of the most iconic characters of all time. And they took that, gender swapped the motherfucking race swapped the motherfucker, and it still looks nice. That's crazy. I can glaze the designs all I want, but they aren't perfect. And most of my complaints actually stem from the design themselves. And it's the fact that, are they doing a little too much? Are you overstepping your boundaries here? Now, a lot of my complaints are actually towards the Optimus Prime, not so much the Megatron. A part of me feels like Optimus Prime is a little bit over-designed. Now let me explain. Again, I like the fact that a lot of these design cues feel intentional. Like Optimus Prime's glasses mimicking his original eyes. I think a lot of that is impressive, and the fact that they were able to do it says a lot about how much they actually cared about this project. But why does she have wheels? She doesn't transform. That, to me, in conjunction with all the other elements that they were able to adapt perfectly, stands out the most. It takes this figure from being Optimus Prime to someone trying to look like Optimus Prime. And the biggest offender of this whole design mess I don't like is actually on the suitcase. Now, personally, I think the suitcase was a really nice touch. It represents the semi-trailer, semi-whatever that Optimus Prime makes appear every now and then whenever he transforms. Where does that come from? I like the finish of it. I like the design cues paying homage to that original design. But why does it need wheels? I feel like we were able to get the design cue without the wheels. Fuck it, I think we were able to understand that this was Optimus Prime without the wheels to begin with. And if you really were adamant about kind of represent the fact that he's a truck, or she used to be a truck, why not just give her a roller suitcase? Why not give her one of those suitcases with like wheels already there? The design feels intentional. The design feels like they have to be there, and it feels all natural. But whatever. Oh, Megatron was done really well. To me, I feel like Megatron was done a lot better when it comes to that transition. And that probably has a lot to do with the fact that Megatron's original design doesn't even look like an alt mode. You look at this image and tell me that's a gun. You'd be fucking lying. Now, because of that, they were able to take a lot of creative liberties when it comes to the design. For example, they gave her a coat. Megatron doesn't wear a coat, but he would be the type to wear a coat. They were able to integrate his most iconic design, that being his arm cannon, and made it flow seamlessly within the design. Megatron here is supposed to be like some sort of military captain of whatever, right? So her holding a cannon makes sense. A little OD, but makes sense. Now, I ragged on Optimus Prime a little too much, I think. And I like the overall theming that they're going for here. The fact that they were able to capture that rivalry that they had in the original series, they were still able to capture that in this whole new medium is really impressive. Megatron looks like she's part of some sort of military force, and Optimus Prime looks like the Resistance, this freedom fighter, if you will. Her more free-flowing design. One focuses on raw power and class, while the other one, freedom. Am I reading too much into this? These are fucking robot girls, Jesus. But overall, I think Kotobukiya did a great job. I mean, again, I keep saying this, but they were able to take these 80s, 90s simplistic robot designs that was made to be a consumer toy for boys. They made something for the men. And that is very impressive. Like, these figures look great. They look great. I can't believe that they look great, that they look this good, and that they were still able to look like Optimus Prime and Megatron. I think that's fantastic. I just love that. When someone walks by my room and they get a glance at these figures, they're able to automatically tell, hey, that's supposed to be Megatron and Optimus Prime. But why are they girls? I think if you're a Transformers fan who happens to like the overall anime aesthetic or design, I think these are a no-brainer. I think you probably already bought them. And if you haven't, I'm sorry, they're a little harder to find now because I think they're sold out everywhere, but you might find them used somewhere. I say cop. I say buy them. I say these are some of my favorite figures of all time, and I think Kotobukiya should keep doing this experimental type of collaboration. Ninja Turtle girls? I'd be down. Ninja Turtle. Look. Hey, I feel like anything's possible with this company. The fact that they were able to do this, the fact that they were able to do Jason X fucking Bishojo, fucking My Little Pony X Bishojo. Like, come on, anything's possible. Again, Ninja Turtle girls, Ninja Turtle Bishojo girls. Come on, playmates, work with Kotobukiya here. I would really like to see Ninja Turtle girls. Please, please. No, I really want to fucking see me. Yeah, don't do late nights, bro. That shit could fuck you up. Thank you for watching this video. I truly appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to watch something I made and something that I'm pretty passionate about. I know it's been a couple years since I uploaded anything, but for the big 26, we're gonna upload a lot, baby. I got a lot more videos in the works, a variety of stuff. I'm just gonna make stuff I want. Just, you know, this has turned into a hobby channel now. And I know I've promised a lot in the past that I am gonna upload more and all that shit, but truly speaking, I will upload a lot more. I truly promise. Again, thank you for coming out here, watching the video about stupid fucking Transformers. Next time, bye.